Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. This, in the USS Alaska, is Cruddyturtle. And Cruddyturtle is a man on a mission. His mission is to do more than 150,000 damage and win. He thought it would take him 2 or 3 games. And a week later he was still trying. Yeah, we've all been there. Cruddyturtle thought maybe this will be the game. I mean, the matchmaking was quite favourable. There's only one carrier, and it's tier 8, and it's the Graf Zeppelin, which is, well, pretty bad. There's also only one destroyer. He's just having to slow down here as he gets cut up by a friendly Leon, who appears to do this sort of thing for a living, by the way. We'll be seeing more of that Leon later. But yes, the matchmaking is quite favourable. He's top tier. There's lots of radar, but, well, he's in a battlecruiser. It doesn't really matter. He's got radar of his own. There's only one destroyer on the enemy team. And the carrier is just the tier 8 Graf Zeppelin, which is a pretty poor excuse for a tier 8 aircraft carrier. There's nothing too remarkable that happens in the opening minutes of the game. Some shots are exchanged, some damage gets done, some damage gets taken. But it's all fairly straightforward. Until our friend in the Leon decides that he wants to go through Cruddyturtle's Alaska again, only this time while they're under fire. And Cruddyturtle slowed down and played the nice guy and let him get past the first time, but he's not in the mood for any of that shit now. Not when they're getting shot at. Note, by the way, that he only fired his front 2 turrets there, because if he'd fired the 3rd turret, it would have hit the Leon. So he's not being a complete dick here. I mean, that problem was very much of the Leon's making. Before too long, the team suffers their first of many casualties. Unfortunately, it's their only destroyer, the Benson, who was in the cap circle down south. And I'd like to say he was attempting to cap, but I think that it was purely coincidental. He got way too close to a York and a North Carolina. I'm pretty sure he was trying to torpedo them, and the fact that he was in the cap circle at the time was purely coincidental. More time passes, more shots are exchanged, and Cruddyturtle finally gets the opportunity to open his score when the Dmitry Donskoy, who thought he was safe behind the island, wasn't. So there's a devastating strike, and the first kill for the team. Unfortunately, the team have also just lost the Colorado, in the same location as where they lost the Benson down to the south, which means that the only surviving friendly ship down to the south in the location of Cap Circle Alpha is a Massachusetts B. And he's turning tail and running away as quickly as he possibly can, which is good, because it means he can look at a mini-map, but, well, he's got 4 or 5 ships in hot pursuit, so I'm not really expecting him to last much longer. But I am expecting him to last a lot longer than the Atlanta, who, well, I have no idea what that Atlanta is doing in Cap Circle Bravo. Take a quick look at the mini-map here. There goes an Atlanta captain who has far more confidence than I have ever had in that ship's ability to take a kicking. I think he's trying to catch the Kagero, but the York, Indianapolis and Wichita are probably going to be bigger problems. He's trying to tuck in behind the island in the middle, but, well, you can hide a destroyer behind that island, but it's a damn sight more difficult to hide a cruiser, especially when the island isn't even going to hide you from everything that's shooting at you. Ironically, while you'd expect the York, Indianapolis or the Wichita to be the ones to actually get the kill on the Atlanta, and I'm sure they are the ones doing the lion's share of the damage to him, the Atlanta snuck down there in order to try to kill the Kagero, I'm pretty sure. And it is in fact the Kagero who's getting the killing shot. And I'm equally sure that the Kagero just held his fire until the Atlanta was on low health and stole the kill. But at the same time, there's just something that I find incredibly amusing about an Atlanta losing a gunfight to a Kagero. Now, I don't know if you saw the enemy Shawls down there. There he is, who just got an almighty bitch slapping from somebody and is now getting the hell out of there, holding his fire and praying that he can survive long enough to go undetected. Now, after what happened to him, that is definitely the smart play from the captain of the Shawls, because the natural place for a Shawls to be is about 15 kilometers away, shooting at you and maneuvering violently to avoid getting the shit smacked out of his citadel. By contrast, observe the friendly Shawls, who just sailed out, broadside on, in front of 2 battleships. And the only reason he survived this long is because those battleships were turning around to disengage, and it's taken them this long to get their turrets turned around and give this guy the slapping he so richly deserved. Unfortunately, while the friendly shores was totally asking for that, his demise means that the team are now down 5 ships. They've only managed to sink 2 enemies. They only hold 1 cap, and the enemy hold 2. And that sorry state of affairs is very much reflected in the overall scores. Cruddyturtle's team have yet to break 150 points, and the enemy team have just cleared 700. On the bright side, that Massachusetts bee hasn't died yet. Everybody else has, but the Massachusetts bee is still afloat. He's still steaming full speed to the north, and he's still got a bunch of enemy ships in hot pursuit. Hang on a second. Okay, 2 things. 1, is that the enemy carrier? And 2, the enemy York seems to be on a bit of a roll. He opened up the scores by sinking the Benson, and he's just gotten his 2nd kill by taking out the friendly Miyoko. But what the hell is going on with that Graf Zeppelin? Is this a secondary build Graf Zeppelin? It's the only explanation that makes any sense. And yet his secondaries don't appear to be shooting it. Oh wait, no, they are. Well, he's dead. Scratch 1 fun, police. Cruddyturtle's 2nd kill. I guess we'll never know whether or not he was a secondary build Graf Zeppelin. He's down. Cruddyturtle gets the kill, assisted by the friendly Scharnhorst. So, another enemy ship sunk. How's that affected the scores? Not in the slightest. The team are only 40 points ahead of where they were a couple of minutes ago, and the enemy team are still over 700 and approaching 800. They still control 2 caps, and they've sunk twice as many ships as Cruddyturtle's team. Now, you might think that Cruddyturtle's taking a bit of a chance here, exposing his broadside to a Scharnhorst and a Gneisenau. But there's a method to his madness, because you don't want to get within 6 kilometers of a Scharnhorst or a Gneisenau, because, well, they have torpedoes, and they love torpedoing things. The friendly Scharnhorst is definitely aware that Scharnhorsts come with torpedoes, because he's launched his at the enemy Scharnhorst. Launched them way too early, but I guess he was anticipating that the enemy Scharnhorst was going to drive into them, but, well, that guy's watched a couple of westerns. He knows an ambush when he sees one, and he stopped and slowed down. So the friendly Scharnhorst torpedoes have run out of steam well short, and now he is being forced to turn away after unleashing his torpedoes from the other side of the ship against the Gneisenau off in the distance. And unsurprisingly, all of those torpedoes have fallen short as well by around about 10 kilometers. Oh, now look at what that enemy Scharnhorst is doing. It's almost as if he knows he's about to die, and he's turning to unleash torpedoes of his own. And the friendly Scharnhorst appears to have been taken completely by surprise by this totally unexpected development. Well, you can't blame him. I mean, how's the captain of a Scharnhorst supposed to know whether or not a Scharnhorst has torpedoes? Oh, that Wichita is definitely in need of a good sinking. And then he disappeared. Cruddyturtle uses his radar. Was the Wichita out of radar range? No, there he is. Cruddyturtle. You can just picture him licking his lips in anticipation here. Armor piercing loaded. Broadside of a cruiser to shoot at. Got him. Well, he's well on the way to getting his 150,000 damage, but whether he can win or not is another matter entirely. Gneisenau 15-inch armor piercing. Yeah, it does some chunk damage, but nothing we can't handle. Back to the high explosive. I'm going to return fire on the Gneisenau. Some fires would be very, very nice. Awesome. Just the one. Is he going to let it burn? Rear turret, 15-inch AP. Minor amount of damage. He's going to let it burn. Smart battleship player. A rare breed indeed, but there's another fire. So is that continuing to tick, or is he going to put out the double fire? It is continuing to tick. So Cruddyturtle is on track for his 150,000 damage. And he's managed to burn down the Gneisenau. His damage control must have been on cooldown. Cruddyturtle's on a roll here. That's his 4th kill. He's almost at 150,000 damage. But, well, this wouldn't be the first time in the entire preceding week when he'd been at or around 145,000 damage and the team had still managed to lose. And they're continuing to hemorrhage ships at an alarming rate. Although, to be fair, the ship that they just lost was the Massachusetts B, and frankly, I'm astonished he survived as long as he did. So we can't really get too upset with him getting himself sunk. I figure he did the best that he possibly could under some extremely difficult circumstances, but it's not helping. The team are still 600 points behind. The enemy are at over 900 points. Now the Sinop down there, Russian battleship, definitely looking like the next victim. But, well, Russian battleship. Extremely short cooldown on the damage control. Now he did just extinguish a fire. Or did he? Did the fire burn out naturally, or did he use his damage control? Well, he's going to have that damage control back up again, if he did use it, very, very quickly. So another fire, or, well, enough high explosive damage to sink him would also be nice, but another fire would do it. And then with the Sinop on less than 1,000 health, and the enemy team 39 points away from winning, the Albemarle finishes off the North Carolina and buys us a few more seconds. And a few more seconds. As Cruddyturtle gets the killing blow on the Sinop, there's the Kraken unleashed. The enemy team do still have 2 of the caps. They do still have double Cruddyturtle's team's score. But they no longer outnumber them. Oh, hang on a second. I thought the Leon was going to be the next victim, but the Shaw's just announced his presence. Well done to the Shaw's for surviving as long as he has. On that amount of health. But he's not going to survive any longer. Oh no, not doing that in front of an Alaska, he isn't. No, there's kill number 6. And now the enemy team are outnumbered. Cruddyturtle, the man on the mission, he has his 150,000 damage. Now he just has to win. But he's had 150,000 damage before, multiple times this week, and he's lost every time. Now I realise it's customary at this point for the team to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And that is happening in this match. But it's not Cruddyturtle's team. Defeat is very definitely being snatched from the jaws of victory here, but it's all the enemy team's doing. I think Cruddyturtle can afford to let that fire burn out of its own devices. I mean, his damage control's ready to go, but the Kagero has been spotted. He's all the way over there. He's in no danger whatsoever of getting torpedoed. Although it'd be real nice if the Albemarle could avoid getting torpedoed, because there's not a huge amount of time left in this match, and the enemy team do still have a points advantage. So Albemarle, please don't get torpedoed while Cruddyturtle finishes securing this cap here. I mean, the kill would be nice, but the Kagero's got a heavy cruiser and a carrier bothering him, so it's not really worth taking the risk. It's far safer to sit in here, take that cap, cross your fingers and hope your teammates don't die. And the kill goes to the Lexington. So what's this mission then, he said to himself. Oh, 150,000 damage and win. That shouldn't be too difficult. 2 or 3 games in the Alaska. A week later. Well, anyway, Cruddyturtle, congratulations on finally getting the mission complete. Have fun with the next one. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.